Before we get into the next question, I want to know about this Invicta Batman situation.
Okay. I think Steve's past that, but he'll talk about it.
Yes, I will. Yeah, that P. Ross, you know something, brother? You're bringing up a very controversial subject because I got my first thumbs down this week on one of my videos on YouTube and a nasty comment about that. Yes, I thank you guys.
Congratulations.
I feel baptized.
You are part of the crew now. You are part of the crew.
Yes. I have a troll now, and his name, believe it or not, is Bob Ross. And he has a picture of the painter Bob Ross as his YouTube account. And I don't want to go too far with this, but there's a backstory. So yeah, check this out. So you guys know that I do beer and watch chats on Friday night with Adrian Sales, somewhere in time 1304. He hosted with me. Okay, so a few weeks ago, in the comments section, which is this whole other entity of a IG Live, in the comments section going on, we noticed that PK Horology, Peter, was talking about placing a wristwatch in water and unscrewing the crown and pulling it out, that it could be done. And so that sparked a lot of conversation in the chat on the side conversation. So I was thinking about it. And I'm like, I started talking to Peter about it because we talk on the phone and things. And he showed me how it could work. And at the time, he had the Average Joe Invicta that he did with the abalone shell around it. So he had that watch apart. He actually showed me the stem, which actually has these little tiny O-rings inside of it. And then he showed me inside the case where it has the gaskets. So I'm like, something that just put it in my head, like, this is cool. So I did my first test up here in my watch room for 2 minutes. And then people were kind of not really convinced that it could work. So I talked to, a few people. I'm like, something? I'm going to take that sucker and I'm going to put it in 14 hours in my laundry tub in the basement. So I did. Right. And there was no turning back. At that point, I have to admit to you both, to say that I was not a little bit nervous about that is an understatement, okay? All night long when I was sleeping, I was thinking about this watch. Like, I am going to look like such an idiot the next day if I push the crown back in and it's like just doing nothing. So that was running through my mind. But I'm like, at the same time, if it's messed up, I'll send it to PK Horology. He'll put a brand new $45, I think it's like a Miota movement or like one of those Seiko
NH35.
NH35. So I'm like, some at the end of the day, it's a win-win for me either way because I'm showing people what it can do. So anyway, I did it and it worked. And I did the video on it, and it wasn't until a few hours later that a little bit of condensation formed underneath the crystal, which we all know is a form of water vapor. So I called Peter up before I posted the next video, and he told me to unscrew the crown. And after I made the video, the water had already dissipated and went away. So just unscrewing the crown back got rid of it. So at the end of the day, yes, it did work, but there is a breach somewhere in it. So he was correct. You could do it. But this watch was 5 years old, and I should probably not have done it. And everything that I posted a disclaimer. Do not try this. Now, it would have been really uncool of me to not come out with that second video. Here's my thing. I have a reputation, and people trust me on here. Now, what kind of guy would I have been if I would have not shared that last video and somebody would have done it? They would have DM'd me with a nasty message like, why did you do this? So that's why I wanted to document everything. So at the end of the day, it worked. I already have that watch boxed up now. It's going back to PK Horology on Wednesday to bead blast the whole case and the whole bracelet. And he's going to remove the movement to do that, obviously. And he's going to document a video on it if there is water spotting inside the movement. If there's not, then at the end of the day, it was just a temperature change of the condensation from going outside where it was cold to my house, which is heated. So we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned for that last video. But at the end of the day, it worked. It worked. It did work, though, at the end of the day. But, I was getting hate from Invicta people, not directly to me. Maybe not hate. Maybe that's a strong word. I was getting some people that were losing their minds in the Invicta crowd, not telling me now. Okay, they were telling others in the Invicta crowd, which getting back to me, that they wanted to know why I was doing that. Like, what is my problem? So it did generate a lot of buzz. At the end of the day, I'm happy I did it.
Right. You know? And that's strange that they would come at you like that because, you know, considering considering that you're trying to prove how great Invicta is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but while we into that, why do you think Invicta guys get a lot of slack?
Did you mean flack? Because I read that comment. You mean why they get a lot of flack?
Slack.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Hate.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, when I saw that question, when you guys emailed it to me, I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what you type. Yeah. Flack. Yes. Okay. We talked about this Friday during Beer and Watches when I had Trap Vision 3D Travis on. Basically, I think the number one reason is they isolate themselves because of the hate.